Florida. I have John and Uni, as she said. Think of the uniform, Uni and John with Inspected, which is inspected.com, you had said?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So real quick, we're just going to talk a little bit about, we're going to have a conversation. You can even pull the mic and put Uni on if need be. She just won't really be able to hear what she's saying, But at the same point in time, what got you to where you are? How'd you get started? Is this your company? Is it branch? Do you work for yourself or vice versa?
I'm one of the customer success managers for Inspected.
Okay.
So what we do and what our goal has been is to get companies, specifically roofers, solar, pools, any of those like single trade contractors, to be able to build as fast as possible without limitations from municipalities.
Okay.
So the purpose of what we do, what we're called is a private provider. And what we do is we make it where, one, your permits can come out faster from the municipality by law. When you guys work with us, there's actually law put in place by, I believe it's code 533 in the state statute, that makes it where the municipality has 20 days to give you a permit if you do plan review with us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and if they don't?
If they don't, we're calling them. That's one of my jobs, is I'm calling them every day to say, hey, this is over the time. This issue needs to be a permit.
Okay, because I'm sure people are going to want to know. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, if I'm paying you for a job, what exactly am I paying for?
Exactly.
And so by law, if they have 20 days, what happens after that 20 days? It was like, okay, we can't do nothing. So this is basically where after 20 days, this is where you guys come into play. And y'all start playing hardball and start knocking them down.
Attacking them, we start calling them. Like, one of my favorite things to do is call a building official and say, hey, it's been 22 days. By law, this permit is issued. What are you guys going to do about it? And they say, oh, okay, well, we have this revision that we need to have done. And then it comes back to us and we get it back to them. So they get their permit. So
outside looking in as a consumer, you wait 22 days, you get it. Then they say, oh, well, there's a problem.
Yes. And so what's awesome about that.
So whenever you do that, let's say you get it back to them on day 23, you have to wait a whole another 20 days. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
So if they have a revision that they call for, so let's say it's a solar contractor, right?
Okay.
They are getting a permit for that. It's been 15 days that they've been waiting. They call for a revision. When they put it back in, they have the remainder from the original 20 plus 5.
Okay, so so I see an algebra problem right here. Mm-hmm. I can see it can be confusing a little bit, to somebody that's not in the industry, not thinking about it. But you guys seem like you would take your time and explain that to people, because
absolutely,
I can see how with especially like a tragedy, you're having to do something and just catastrophe. People are like, well, they had 20 days, or well, they did it in 10. Why do I have to wait the extra 20? But that's something you can explain and like, look, this is what we're here for. This is what we can do. And if you have any questions, call us, because look, just talking with you guys just for a few minutes, you seem like if somebody would call, y'all would pick up the phone and answer.
Man,
an
I
email
answer
or something
about
like that.
40 calls a day from clients who are just calling me saying, hey, John, this is happening with this municipality. Can you take a look at it? And my job is, hey, I'm calling that municipality and making sure that stuff is working.
Where are you guys based out of?
We're in Plantation, so about 30 minutes from here.
Plantation, Florida. Okay. Are y'all just in Florida?
So we're just in Florida and Georgia currently. We do pools in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
But we're looking at expanding. And the big thing with that is that we have to get codes that are similar to what Florida has for private providers in states outside of Georgia and Florida, and that will allow us to move out.
Y'all come to Louisiana.
We would love to.
See, we're from Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, we've got catastrophes. We've got, hurricanes and, all kind of other stuff like that. Bad rains will just flood some towns in South Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But yeah, it'd be nice. We'll talk a little bit about how to, what I can do and who I know and kind of calls to make and try to get you guys in Louisiana, or at least point you in the right direction.
We would love to be there.
Calling and getting you guys there. Because, you'll sound like kind of like Jacob Jacobson. Tree Guardian USA, we're based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. We have Jacksonville, Orlando, Des Moines, Iowa, and we just want to expand. In the next 10 years, we want to take over half the United States, if not the whole United States.
That's how we are. So our primary job, or what we do, is primarily we're a private provider, but we're also a SaaS company.
Okay.
So we are working on getting out a SaaS product right now that will revolutionize the way that you can track your permits in municipalities, and the municipalities are going to be using our product, and you're going to be able to plug into it.
Now, is that going to be a website with a username and a password? Is that going to be an app that you guys are?
So we're working on the app portion right now.
Awesome.
But it is going to be a website.
Because in today's society, everybody wants an app for everything.
Everybody wants an app.
I hate to say it, people go on dating sites because they can't talk to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They just have an app.
And you have an app for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one of the cool things, like I've been a Droid user for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I just switched to an iPhone about a month ago.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things about an iPhone to me is they had a measuring app on it.
It's awesome, isn't it?
I could look, I can take the table, for instance, I could click right here and follow the line and then click at the end of the table. I'm like, oh, look at my diameter. That's so cool. Yeah. But it's apps for everything. And that's why I asked if it was going to be on a website with a username and a password, or if it was going to be an app, it was going to be, done through email links and you guys. But if somebody can actually go to the website, get their own username, own password, they can constantly follow up on their own thing.
Exactly.
And that's one of the ways that they don't have to bother you.
Soon.
I don't want to use the word bother because, of course, no customer is ever a bother.
Exactly.
And this is from somebody who's been in the auto industry for 20 years, management, sales, internet sales, everything like that. So I don't want anybody to think that we're using the word bother and you're going to bother them.
Yeah.
But it's the more that you can teach the consumer to do on their own, the more time y'all have to work for that consumer. Because if you've got 1,000 customers and 500 are constantly calling, then what you can think you can get done in 2 days has now been pushed back to 5 days because you're having to stop and answer all these questions or look this up. We think, hey, Miss Jan, do you have your username and your word? Well, yeah. Okay. If you go there, it all your questions are up there. All your follow-ups are right there because, and you can explain, and trust me, like me, if you and I are talking, you're like, hey, you got a username and password, use that more often because that way, I can work for you more. Sweet. I love it. And I always tell my salesmen that back in the day is just be upfront and honest with the customer. Because it's like, okay, I sold you a car. Yes, call me. Let me know you have a service appointment because I'll go and get one of my service advisors to call you. But then after that, I'm out. I'm not service. Now, when you come in for your service appointment and you get there, shoot me a text. I'll come meet you in service. We'll bullshit. We'll have some coffee.
Yes,
things like that.
On that line, when it comes to customer service, that's one of the things that we care the absolute most about at Respected. So what we do is we have an onboarding process. And how that works is we will train their admins, like a client who's coming in, they're brand new, they haven't used us before. We train their admin team on how to use everything that we do. And then we train their technicians on how to join inspections, how to view them, how to upload photos, how to do everything in that process.
Wow.
And then we also do a weekly meeting once a week after that for about the first 3 to 5 months that they're a client, depending on what they need. We're actually doing that with ADT Solar and Titan Solar right now. They both work with us in Florida, and they are seeing massive, amazing results from that. I believe that Titan got, if I remember correctly, they had a project go from purchased by homeowner to on the roof, done, PTO, done, right? 28 days.
That's amazing. I think, look, my biggest thing is customer service too. And like we're in the process of building a new website right now. My biggest thing as a sales and marketing guy, one of the questions that I asked, and I interrupted because we had a big, massive phone conversation. I was like, look, been doing this for 20 years. My big question is, if I call you, are you going to answer? If I email you, are you going to respond? I mean, look, I'm easy. If I ask you a quick question over text, send me a text back. If I call you, call me back. If I text you, I'm not expecting you to call me unless you're driving or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know people are busy. I've been there. I've done it. Sometimes you're in the middle with a customer. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, my ADD is so bad. I can do a podcast with you guys and get a text message and still concentrate on holding a conversation and answer a text message real quick. While you're talking, I can answer my text message real quick. But people would understand that. Like, hey, I'm with the customer, so I'm just going to text them back real quick because they're asking, a question. I'm not going to call them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest thing is just I want somebody that's going to get a hold of me. And you sound like you guys got policies and procedures in place. Well, ready to make that happen.
The reason for that is because what we sell to companies is speed. And if we don't answer the phone, if we don't have those conversations, we're not keeping up our end of the bargain.
Jacob says it best. Same with Tree Guardian and disasters and things like that, because we're storm chasers. Speed to market. That is Jacob.
Exactly.
Jacob has it. That's embedded in my head. Mm-hmm. Speed to market.
It's the most important aspect of what we do is, hey, we are trying to make you fast.
Yeah.
So we've gone over like the permitting side of what we do. There's one more aspect of that, and what that is virtual inspections. This is our biggest thing that we do. So let's say you guys, you know what a code inspection is, right?
A code inspection?
Yeah.
home before building a house. We call it Metro Code.
Exactly.
You do the foundation, they got to come inspect it.
Exactly.
You put up a wall, they got to inspect it.
So exactly like
you
that.
You got to have a stamp for everything.
In Florida, it's just like that. Florida is one of the most strict states when it comes to inspections on the planet. And the reason for that,
because they want an inspection for everything.
I said one of. It's almost the same as California. And the reason for that is that we have so many hurricanes, right? So they're very touchy, especially about solar, roofing, everything like that.
I bet.
And so what we do on the inspection side of things is that while you're building, instead of having to have an inspector come out from the city, what your guys will be able to do in working with us is they would pull out their smartphone, they would hop onto our platform, they will have scheduled the day before in their project, say, hey, all right, I'm scheduling an inspection for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock hits, they've gotten to that point, they need to do, let's say, their rough and their sheathing inspections. They hop on that app and they open it up and they join that inspection, show our inspector everything he needs to see, and he passes or fails it over the phone in 5 minutes.
All online.
All online.
Instead of having to drive back and forth and do all kind of other stuff. That way you can be working on a whole nother project and just step back from that project for a little bit, do that phone conversation, do what you got to do. It's done.
And then it's done. It allows one-day installs for solar and roofing in Florida. It is incredible and one of the best parts. And I know you guys are going to love this, contractors. If you have a failed inspection, our inspector, instead of failing you, will postpone you to later that day. You fix whatever it is that was broken, and you hop back on free of charge.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm trying to cut weight for a fight, man. I don't make weight. I got a couple of hours to finish that weight. You know what I'm saying? Not retake a test in school. I love it. That's awesome.
Yep.
I mean, at least it's some light of hope, because I'm sure when you're ready for an inspection, you think you have everything together. It just might not be what that particular individual wants, or you miss one little thing. You shouldn't have to just fail, pay a penalty, pay a fine. And what I mean by, well, the fine is the money, but then the penalty is I'm not coming back here for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
It sucks to be you.
And so we don't do that because we're a private entity. We're not the government. We're
right.
Not the
That's amazing.
And I hate to talk crap about them, but they're in Florida, especially. They like to have control, and their control tends to be slow. And so the reason that we exist is specifically to make that fast.
I'm pro-military. Our motto was hurry up and wait.
Yep.
The most consistent thing was inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's the things, man. But kind of like what you're talking about is like, we'll deny it, but we won't fail you. Exactly. We'll deny it, and we'll postpone it, like you said. Exactly. But we won't fail you.
But we will not fail you.
But another thing, that is another way of the terminology, like Jake says, speed to market. That's the way you got helping your customers.
Yep. And that is on that same day that we can do that. We can't do that over 24 hours because we do have to tell the municipality that we're doing an inspection.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we schedule with the municipality, say, hey, we're doing this inspection, and then we do it. Oh, we got a puppy. Let's keep talking.
Oh, that just whipped me. Ow. Good dog. But no, look, man, I appreciate you guys talking with us. Thank you so much. And look, the one thing about me, like I said, auto industry, 20 years. Inside, outside, service parts, auction, working numbers, banks. Dude, I'm the man. I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? But coming to here, I'm realizing how much I don't know.
There's a lot of other avenues.
Oh, my God. I'm so ignorant to the fact. I don't want to say stupid, but I'm ignorant to the fact of. Mm-hmm. I never knew there was so much about roofing. I mean, I just thought, okay, you bought your supplies here. This guy put it on. Yeah. You know, insurance. I didn't know there were so many different insurance.
There's 100 of
them. Claim people, but they're not all the same either. Yeah. There's different insurance companies doing different things. Take the attorneys in this business.
Yeah.
You're an attorney. You're either a family law or you're personal injury, or you do contracts for a living. Yeah. I had no clues that they had attorneys that are specifically hired to go after the insurance companies and fight for their consumers. It's great. Like you guys, I didn't know this belonged in, not belonged, but it was a part of this business. I'm learning something new every single time.
And honestly, that's why I love coming to shows, is just getting to meet other contractors. My
Absolutely.
background was solar sales. I ran a swamp cooler replacement and repair company in Arizona when I was 17 to 18. And I worked as a superintendent for 2 years at a construction company. And then I went to sales. And so I love getting to talk to other contractors and see what's bothering them about the industry, what's hurting, what's causing holdups, and figuring out ways that we can make that faster and fix those problems.
Sounds like you guys are a big suggestion box.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to hear and you want to fix.
Exactly.
That's problem solving.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Problem solving 101 is what you guys sound like. That is just amazing. So look, again, I want to thank you guys before we get off of here. At the same point in time, how can people get a hold of you if they have questions? I don't know if we did that before. Just let's go over it again. Phone number, address, email address, Facebook page, social media. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, here you go. Give it all, man.
So my LinkedIn is John Denninghoff.
Okay.
You can absolutely follow me on there. Add me on there.
Spell the first name, because it's John, but a lot of people do John, Johnny, whatever.
It's John. My last name is Denninghoff, so Denninghoff. I know it's a mouthful. But my number for my company is 954-231-7785. Call me on there anytime. I will answer. And then john@inspected.com.
Nice, man. Any social media accounts anybody can follow if they want to watch a couple of different things? Oh, Uni Talks.
All of our social media is listed as inspected.com. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Feel free to follow us on there.
Okay, sounds good. Once again, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Nick. We appreciate it. And we'll see you around the show.
It was awesome, man. Thank you.